come to this happy place, welcome.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris, and you're listening to a podcast that believes in dreams, that places trust in the magic of imagination, that is always the first star to the right, and where the light in the window is always on. Join as we discuss the views from Walt's apartment.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Walt's Apartment Live. It is the 7th of May, 2 weeks before Rogue Comic-Con. Actually, not even 2 weeks, like a week and a half. So coming up next week, we'll be up in Medford, Oregon, having a great time while Disneyland kicks off their 70th anniversary. So many big things coming up. We have a huge, jam-packed, fun-filled show. Huge special guest tonight. We have Sam. How are you doing tonight, Sam?
I'm
fired up tonight, so I'm talking fast.
Okay, well, I'm good. I'm happy. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I will be flying into Northern California a week from today. So by this time next week, I will not be here on the live show. I will be catching fish in California.
All right. Which means you're almost to Oregon then. But also, we have I'll just say I won't be here next week either because I have to work next Wednesday to be able to go to Oregon that weekend. So I won't be on either. I believe Joey and Amanda are gonna run the show and have a good time. And
Amanda and them are headed up there too, I believe.
I believe Joey is gonna run the show by himself with maybe Courtney and Kelly.
They're King style.
But yeah. So Joey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Barely made it in. But I'm glad to be here, and I love when Danny's on because not only forget the parks, we talk about Lorcana.
Oh boy, I didn't put that in the
big
rundown.
Big reveals. No,
oh my gosh, we'll have to touch on that. But,
I have it right here.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here though. So yes, they're driving up.
Just Joey. Okay. Okay. So, and we also have Mr. The Blurred Hulk, David. How you doing, brother? David's here. We're talking Thunderbolts tonight because Thunderbolts came out over the weekend.
Dude, this has been a fun movie month for me. I mean, I saw Sinners 3 times. I saw the Thunderbolt. Like I'm having this is my cinema summer starting early. I'm really back into the theaters and I'm loving it. So can't wait to talk Thunderbolts.
Yeah, we'll get through some other little news that Disney announced today. We'll talk about that first, but then we'll get into Thunderbolts. It's just a little tiny bit of news that they announced today.
Just a little bit.
Tiny bit. Little nugget they put out there for everyone. But and then we have our guest, Danny from the 5571 podcast and YouTube. How you doing, buddy?
Good. Just like David, I've also had a big cinema like last couple of months. It's been amazing. So I also saw Sinners multiple times. I never got to see it in 70 millimeter, whatever the special IMAX is. I know it's coming back. So I need to get tickets. I think I can only do it at Universal Studios. That's like the only one around me that has it. So I might have to do that and just brave the crowds over there. So, but I'm excited. I loved Thunderbolts. We'll get into that.
Absolutely. So
Movies are back, baby. They
are back for sure. And now that the one's out of the way, you know that one is gone. I'm not talk about it anymore. But Danny, how tell us about your podcast, your YouTube channel. What do you do on there? I mean, I'm sure if everyone's listening right now, they know who the hell you are. But tell us all again.
Yeah, I do have a YouTube channel called 5571 where you can watch video updates, vlogs, and also podcasts. I haven't had a podcast lately. It's just been weird. It's been a weird time. I moved and a bunch of other stuff happened. So, but I'm hoping to get back into the groove of it all very soon. But there's a lot of videos. I just put a video up going over updates at Disneyland, and then before that from FanFest nights at Universal.
Which that's when I texted you last week. I said, dude, your FanFest video was great. You said that FanFest was the best after dark event ever. You put that literally on your title of your show. You stand behind that still a week later?
Wow. Yeah, I mean it's for me I would say like the OG 90s night was probably like a very close second. Right. And then third for me would be Disney Channel night. I loved Disney Channel night. Some people didn't like it at all, but I thought it was like one of the coolest things ever. So
Perfect.
I know
And
Courtney
then-
Kelly really loved that one too.
Yeah.
And Kevin and Amanda shared your sentiment about FanFest too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, skywalking, same thing. So it's a trend. It's trending for sure.
But so let's get into
Maybe
like I said,
Sunday.
there's a lot to talk about. We'll start off real quick. We're going to bring it back again. We're going to bring in some This Week in Disney History. Sam hit us with some little bit of history nuggets, and then we're going to dive into some awesome fun topics.
All right, I'm going to zoom through because I've got some random ones and some that you can probably guess. But 2004, This Week in Disney History, Tower of Terror opened in DCA. You know, it closed in, let's see, 2016.
Yeah.
That's when Guardians Mission Breakout.
Yeah.
So
it only closed for 6 months. It was like the quickest makeover ever. It was like they closed it in end of the year and it opened back up Memorial Day weekend.
Joe Rody special.
Yes, thank you, Joe Brody.
all right, 2005, historic first. At this point, there were only 10 Disney theme parks, but all 10 opened up on started festivities for Disneyland's 50th anniversary. All of them at the same time in 2005 on May 5th. And then they shortly added
Homecoming on Earth.
the happiest celebration on Earth. Yeah. All right. Then, in 1988, we get our second country in the World Showcase. We get in 1988, a whole year before I was born. We get the Norway Pavilion, which opened up with Maelstrom was officially launched in July of 1988, and it did open with Akershus, the Kringla Bakery, Puffins, and then the flirting shop. And then 2016, this one's for you, Bird Hulk. This Week in Disney History.
Give it to me, he said.
I know where we're going.
Captain America Civil War was released.
Chris's favorite movie, by the way. That was Chris's favorite Marvel movie, was Civil War. Wait, no. I'm sorry. His was Winter Soldier. I apologize. I take it back. Take it all back.
This Week in Disney History, and this one's a little bit more for you. In 1950,
That just sounded funny. I'm sorry.
The first engine officially ran on the Carrollwood Pacific Railroad, which, for those of you who don't know, is Walt Disney's backyard train in Holmby Hills. And then 2016 was the first soft launch for park opening for Shanghai Disneyland. And then this one I thought was so funny. This Week in Disney History, 3 TV shows had their Walt Disney World episode of the show. So Step by Step aired part 2 of We're Going to Disney World. Boy Meets World had the happiest show on Earth. Those 2 took place on the same day in the same year in 1996.
Crazy multiverse.
And then in 1993, Full House, This Week in Disney History, had their Full House Disney episode.
The best one.
Good.
The
that was
episode.
Sam was like 4, so
I loved Full House though.
A Full House was great.
Steve made a good Aladdin in the parade.
He did. Also, This Week in Disney History, 2013, Merida became the 11th Disney princess.
Oh, Merida.
Full House episode was great. I've got more if you want it, but I don't think.
Oh no, we got so much to talk about.
I was like, I don't think we need more.
Yeah.
Let's see. Can we get another 24-hour Disney day?
That'd be so much fun.
Only people can.
You ever done that, Danny?
Hours.
Yeah, I did both of them.
Really?
Yeah. It was fun. I didn't stay 24 hours. No.
That's insane.
I think I stayed till like 2 a.m.
Wow.
Maelstrom is now frozen ever after entertainer. Kelsey says the Full House Disney episode was great. Tyler says, "What up? Almost a week out. So pumped. We're excited to see Tyler for Rogue Comic-Con."
Tyler, just be off the side of the road, off the I-5. We'll just swing by and say, "Hey, Tyler."
Yeah, by the way, Sean, you're going to be a beer delivery guy for Tyler.
Okay, that's fine.
Just let you know.
Sure. We'll see if it makes
Sean, you didn't mention Scarlet Witch when she dropped the Full House Disney bomb. I mean, the sisters and
they're just the sisters. They're just the sisters.
Yeah, but it's connected to your your stalkery love.
How creepy is she even born during that?
That might have changed, David. So we'll talk in a little bit. I mean, I'll explain in about 20 minutes.
Ditching the Scarlet Witch.
I'm not ditching, but we'll have some talks. I think I'll just preface to say I think I have a thing for Russians. I'm just gonna say that at this point. So, but
I mean, the Red Guardian was looking kind of handsome in the beard.
He was looking.
I get it. I get it, Sean.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do this. Let's take our getaway to daybreak. We'll come back and we're gonna talk about some place that we can possibly get away to here, like in the next maybe like 8 years or so. So let's see. We'll be right back.
It's been a great show so far, but who's ready for an ad break? Did you know that the best way to keep our shows going is by supporting our sponsors? So let's get to know more about the travel experts at Getaway Today. They've been helping to make vacation dreams come true since 1990. And whether you want to visit the happiest place on earth or to travel to Orlando for a most epic adventure, they are there to help. Are you trying to find out which hotel is your best option or which theme park tickets will work best for your visit? Are you concerned that you might need a last-minute change? No worries. Their travel experts will help you out. Looking to book a cruise but don't know where to start? Hey, they can help with that too. They will find the perfect cruise for your vacation, whether it's your first time or you're a well-seasoned cruiser. When you book your cruise with one of the Getaway Today experts, you will have a dedicated agent to help you every step of the way. They take care of the details so you can have the most fun. Getaway Today offers peace of mind travel, allowing you to cancel or make changes up to 72 hours before your trip. You will always have the most up-to-date vacation information, both pre-arrival and upon welcome. Getaway Today guarantees the best prices, with no hidden fees, and every time you book through Getaway Today, they will donate a portion back to a charitable organization in your area. And so far, over $4.5 million have been donated. So go ahead and dial 1-855-GETAWAY, that's 1-855-438-2929, and be sure to tell them that Walt's Apartment sent you. Or just click the link in our show notes for more information and the best deals to start your Disney, Universal Studios, or cruise vacation planning. What I'm trying to say is, if you like to travel, check out Getaway Today. Alright, so now it's time to get back to enjoying that view from Walt's apartment. Let's get back to the show.
Yes, Getaway Today is awesome. We love them. We love all of our sponsors, Duncan City and We're in the Park as well, which you'll hear from later on. Let's get into some Disney news here. Disney news. Earnings call was, I believe, yesterday. Up 10%. Disney's up 10%. Shares are up 10%, and the parks are up 13%. Were the highlights of that. That's cool, right? Good job. In this weird economy that we have right now, Disney's doing a good job. But there was another announcement that was made today, and this explains why the Extra Magic Hour show has moved to Thursday, because Disney likes to. I mean, Danny's can even preface to this that all Disney drops all their news on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Whatever it is, it's going to be on a Wednesday or a Thursday. So they dropped a little bit of a humdinger here for us. I'm going to actually play a little video here that will help us out with this. Let's listen to Mr. Robert Iger 2.0. He's going to tell us all about it.
King Bob.
Of joy and inspiration to all the world.
In Disney's 102-year history, there have been many defining moments and countless achievements. Today, we celebrate another thrilling moment, the creation of a spectacular new Disney theme park resort coming to Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi is a place where heritage meets innovation, a place where we preserve our past while designing the future.
Bringing a Disney theme park resort to Yas Island, Abu Dhabi, marks a historic milestone in our journey as a global family destination.
The 7th Disney theme park resort destination represents a new frontier in theme park ambitions. Our resort in Abu Dhabi will be the most advanced and interactive destination in our entire portfolio. The location of our park is incredibly unique. It's anchored by a beautiful waterfront, which will allow us to tell our stories in completely new ways. Ultimately, this project will be a celebration of what's possible when creativity and progress come together.
What we are creating with Disney in Abu Dhabi is a whole new world of imagination, an experience that will inspire generations across the region and the world.
This collaboration represents a powerful fusion of Disney's unmatched legacy in storytelling and Mira's commitment to bringing world-class entertainment to our guests.
Abu Dhabi's vision for the future is to create a legacy for generations to come.
Disneyland Abu Dhabi will be authentically Disney and distinctly Emirati. An oasis of extraordinary Disney entertainment at this crossroads of the world. It will bring to life our timeless characters and stories in many new ways, becoming a source of joy and inspiration for the people of this vast region to enjoy for generations to come.
All right. That's pretty cool, right? Is that cool? Are we excited for this? What are our overall thoughts for this? So, David's shaking his head. I'm actually going to go to you first then, since you're shaking your head. Where's that sound coming
Never
from?
been and have no desire to go because it's 120 degrees. In fact, it has a record of 125 degrees out there this century alone. So, unless Disney is going to be full water park over there, which they're not, I'm good from enjoying it from afar. So,
So you're saying no just because of the heat?
extreme heat, like hell on Earth.
Right.
Heat.
Yeah, that's hot.
I think there's a rumor, though, that a lot of it is going to be indoors because I know Kelsey and I were talking about it earlier about sandstorms being an issue as well. So, and speaking of Kelsey, I just saw your message there, Joey. Speaking of Kelsey, Kelsey's in the chat today, but she's going to be joining us in a couple of weeks after we get back from Rogue Comic-Con to do a Walt Disney World trip review, report on Extra Magic Hours. So, Hi, Kelsey. But yeah, so I think a lot of it's probably going to be indoors, but I'm excited for it because anytime that they're saying it's going to be the most interactive and they're going to have like this extreme Disney ingenuity, my brain wants to see how that's going to work. Sure. I mean, I had some of the same concerns that David did about, the heat, the sandstorms, and like some of the cultural things. Like their laws are very different here than they are there. I put that in our Discord today. Yeah. So plug for our absolutely free Discord. Go check out Walt's Apartment Podcast on Discord and join the conversation. So yeah, I mean, I have some concerns, but I think that Disney is going to do what Disney does. And if they hold up to their promises, this is going to be something spectacular. I mean, I'm excited to see what comes. I'm excited to keep talking about it. It gives us content to keep talking about for the next few years.
It gives us like 10 years of content. It's so exciting.
Let's go.
Joey, what do you think, buddy?
I think it's really cool. I don't know the chance of getting to Abu Dhabi anytime soon, but it's definitely a destination.
So that's
got some time to save up from getaway. They got layaway,
right?
So be able to check that out. But from friends I've known that have been to Disney Tokyo Sea, if I said it right, and even recently from Celebration, friends that went, everybody said that's the best Disney park in the world. And since this is going to be in an island, I think there's a possibility it eclipsed that, which sounds bonkers. So if it's a hit, I think we'll finally get our Disney resort in Vegas after that sometime. But I think it's cool. Anytime they can, especially stepping out of the stepping out of the box to do something different would be great.
And I think part of what Joey said matches what Kevin is saying here is the Disney parks where Disney doesn't necessarily foot the bill tend to have more creativity. Tend to have more creative.
Well, playing with the house's money. Why not?
So Imagineers tend to get more creative liberty in those parks, and I think that with Tokyo Disney Sea, we will have something similar in Abu Dhabi where someone else is paying Disney to do this. So
100%.
We may get to see something spectacular.
Danny, you go to the parks probably more than all of us on this panel right now. As a Disney fan, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Kevin. I'm all for someone else paying for research and development. That's my thought on it. Personally, I won't be going to this park, for a plethora of reasons, what David said, what Sam said, but it'll be cool to see. I'm sure Attractions 360 will go. I can watch their videos from it. But I think the cool part is that it'll allow, like, when Disney's, they said multiple times that we're not funding it at all. They're being funded by someone else. And also Disney's probably going to make a lot of money from this because they get to, WDI gets to bill whoever's paying for all this, for all the research and development time and money that they're being, borrowed to build this park. And then they're also getting annual payout from this company to license all of their characters and everything else that they want to use that's Disney related, and all the merch and everything. So it's like an endless supply of money for them, I'm sure. So the nice part is that they're going to essentially have this like insane budget, I'm sure, because it's, the UAE. And so they'll be able to do research and development like Kevin was saying. And, a lot of times we don't do as well here because the research and development is so expensive and then they have to cut other places. And so my thought is maybe the research and development they can do here under someone else's dime will help our parks when they're building things like, the Villains Land and the new Frontier Land and all that stuff. It'll help them like come up with some new technologies that maybe they wouldn't have been able to do on the dime of the Disney company.
I wonder if they'll test, because obviously those things are going to happen first. The stuff in the States is going to happen before this. They're saying like 2 years of development and then like another 5 years to build. So I thought I saw something. So saying like the early 2030s is their target. I don't know where I heard that from. Someone said that. But yeah, Entertainer, I completely agree with you. So do you think Aladdin will be a theme? It better be. I mean, if it's it should be.
Might be a little on the nose.
I mean, of their little teaser image.
they may not have that like fandom there. They may not like Aladdin the way we do.
Sure.
I mean,
and it might be like Disney World didn't do New Orleans Square because Florida is very close to New Orleans. So.
They want something different. But also like the major reason why people travel to the UAE is like luxury tourism. So it could be that a lot of people are traveling in and they could expect that. And I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. They used the whole world line in the announcement.
Yeah.
Good point, Kevin.
But like Daniel was saying, with having it done on somebody's dime, kind of goes back to the more modern day version of Walt having all these General Motors or Ford doing the New York's Fair, paying for the R&D. A little bit more expensive nowadays. So this is the next best thing. But I think it's like they said, the money coming in will be just great for the stockholders and investors too.
So we're going to dive into this some more. We have a guest who's been on the show a couple of times, Kelly, theme park mom. She's going to be on the show in a couple of weeks. We're going to interview her again. She put out a TikTok today, and I text her. I said, "Hey, can I share your your TikTok on our show because she brings up some good points that you guys are all kind of are hitting on. So I want to play that video and then talk about that as well and see what your guys' thoughts are, because I understand, Danny, why you said you would never go there. I completely understand that, because and Sam put in our Discord. So she touches on a few more things. So let's listen to this. It's about 2 minutes, and then we'll talk about that as well.
So by now, most of you have probably heard that Disney plans to open a brand new theme park in Abu Dhabi over the next few years. Disney themselves is not going to run this park. They are basically going to design this park. They're going to hand it over to the company Morale, who's going to build this park in Abu Dhabi, and then Disney will collect royalties from that. I posted it about this morning, and originally my post was just like the news and the information and how excited I am that there's going to be a 7th Disney theme park. But to be honest, that's not really the vibe that the Disney community is going with. Now, Disney needs this park, right? They're definitely behind. They're getting their butts kicked by Epic Universe. Everybody's so excited about Epic Universe, and Disney needs people and their fans to be talking about them the way that people are talking about Epic Universe. So while it was a surprise to hear that there's going to be a 7th Disney park, it was not really a big surprise that this is something that Disney wanted to do and needs to do. But what I have to say is that the online community overall is not particularly happy in the Disney world about this 7th park. And I am interested in hearing what you guys think about Disney opening a 7th park, because here are some of the concerns. One, Abu Dhabi is not necessarily the safest place to open a theme park. It's definitely not an inclusive place to open a theme park. And unfortunately, even though Disney is saying that this park is going to be funded by another company, but designed by Imagineering, in a lot of the Disney community's opinions, people are thinking that this means that things that were supposed to be happening at Disneyland and Disney World are going to come to a staggering halt, because Imagineering is going to have to focus all of its attention now on Abu Dhabi because Disney's being paid all this money to create this 7th park. And I want to hear what everybody has to say. Let's try to keep it respectful in the comments. But I do understand what people are saying. Like, this isn't the best place to build a park. And it does feel like Disney is just creating this 7th park because they really want to try to keep up with all the press that Epic Universe has been getting. And that maybe this wasn't the best choice for a 7th Disney park location.
Thoughts?
Good. I'll be short because but good points. But I don't think the Imagineers are taking the plane tomorrow and working on it. So like you said, it's going to be a long time coming before they even really get to any deep planning and stuff. So
I was going to make a joke that the Disney Imagineers all already went to Epic Universe, and so they have to wait for them to decide to come back to Disney first anyways. So.
Oh. Damn. Danny, David, what do you guys think?
I mean, besides, I can joke about it's hot as hell on Earth out there and stuff, but the truth is, all the other reasons that we were alluding to, and I mean, if I'm gonna be a true inclusive human being that walks this earth, then I need to, my actions need to speak to that as well too. So no, I won't be venturing off to Abu Dhabi anytime soon or in my lifetime to go to the Disney park.
That's fair.
Well, I mean, I guess understanding that Disney's going to have no hands on this after, they turn the park over is something important to consider, because there are tons of laws in Abu Dhabi that Americans would not do well with typically. And I mean, like even just thinking about like how to run a park during Ramadan, like in that heat, that weather, like not being able to eat or drink in public. There are a lot of things that can get.
You can put a dome over it if they have that much money. So can you imagine it? Have a dome. That'd be freaking amazing.
Harem land. Sorry.
Lou said, "Man, I wish I was on right now. Cue the music." Well, you're not. So
you're not. I just think
stopping you, bro. Hop on.
It's like there's, I don't know, like they used the same exact byline that he did when they talked about Shanghai, like that it was, something Disney. It was like something Disney and distinctly Chinese, and he said the same exact thing.
Yep, he did.
Emirate. I don't know. I don't know. Like I feel like Shanghai did change a lot, right? Like they don't have a main street. They don't have a princess castle. It's like storybook castles. So it's like there's some different things, right? They don't have a frontier land because that they didn't want any of that kind of stuff. And so I wonder like and I also was very like, if you look at the branding of all the stuff, like Kevin mentioned, they use the whole new world in the announcement. When you look at the branding of everything they've shown, it just says Disney, and then it says like UAE, like it doesn't say Disneyland at all.
Right.
So it says Disney, like it has the word Disney. So I don't know what it is, right? It's like people are calling it like Disneyland, but maybe Disney's okay with it because they're going to change so much, and it's not going to be like having that Disneyland name, so it's not necessarily associated with it. I don't know.
But they're still saying it's the 7th theme park resort. So
it's still a Disney park,
yeah,
but it's not going to have it's probably not going to have a main street. Obviously, it doesn't have a castle. It has a weird like diamond.
The Crystal Palace, or whatever it looks like.
Yeah, it has a weird like diamond thing.
Fortress, was it the Superman? Like,
yeah,
it looks like freaking.
It
looks like Elsa's castle. What it looks like.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, in the middle of the desert, which is so funny to me.
Yeah, and I see there. You can see too, like the Zootopia in the background there.
Yeah.
So, and they kind of mentioned that in the video, like they showed the Zootopia and stuff, and what looks like Tron. Is also
Kevin.
I'm hoping it's indoors and I don't know. It's just like it depends. Like I don't know how much they're gonna have to give up. Like Sam was saying, and like in what Disney thinks and wants as a. It gets tricky when you have franchisees, right? Because like you have to be sure that they're gonna uphold your brand and your standards, and like. To Sam's point, like, can they do that in the UAE? I don't know. Like, or maybe it just runs totally different, but Disney's okay with that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they're just counting the money.
Ice Crystal Castle in the desert, 125. Yeah,
that ice vodka bar that's in Vegas, that would be perfect there.
Except for you can't drink in public there. So,
well, you can sit in ice, then
So
ice water bar.
So is this just a way for like Kelly said, for Disney just to make a bunch of money? I mean, they're going to have I think we were talking before that this is billable hours that WDI can bill to morale and say, yeah, well, we need this stuff for that, and we're making money. And can they use these same ideas for parks and everywhere else? Kind of what they've done. They use some of the stuff that they got from overseas, the other parks, to use in some of the parks here. So is it smart business for them to do this, or I don't know?
I think we're still so far away. The stuff that they're really highlighting is some of the things that were like kind of like newer technology for Disney, possibly just to kind of showcase.
I was saying a chance.
No, we are going to find out, Sean. We are going to find out.
Summer.
Okay, so
I don't think we have enough information yet.
I did say this morning on our, and I'm going to ask you guys all the same opinion. I did say this morning in our totally free Discord that no one could see because it was just the host talking. But I did say that this was definitely Disney's. Oh, that's cute. Your little Universal park. Hold my beer. We're going to drop this on you right now. Is that part of what this is? Is this Disney saying, F you, we're going to take the spotlight from Universal a little bit and make this announcement 2 weeks before you open your brand new shiny theme park? We're going to say, well, we're bringing you a 7th theme park resort that's going to be billions and billions and billions of dollars, spared no expense, just like John Hammond from freaking Jurassic Park. So what do you guys think about that? Do you guys think that this is a Disney hold my beer moment to Universal?
If it was, they spilled their beer all over the place.
Well, and plus, I mean, it's proxy. I mean, it's a franchise. It's Disney in name and some design, but it's not really their like, I'm putting this out for, this is our big banger and stuff that we're coming for Epic and stuff. So in my opinion, I don't think this is that.
Okay.
This is, I'm going to go get my cousin and I'm going to have him, put on the Debo suit and fight my battle for you and stuff. So,
Yeah, I don't think so because someone I forgot what article I was reading that was talking about that what this was in development since like 2017. So this has been in design. I mean, they just wanted to probably get out there because there's a lot of other big tourist companies and entertainment destinations that are out there, and they want to be there so that they're established in, you know, that growing middle class as like a, and that destination as like a place that, you know, families can get used to going annually and all that kind of stuff. So that's probably them just being like, we need to get out there, and the easiest way for them to do it is just to franchise it like they're doing. I don't
business. It's good business.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
Yeah.
I don't think the, you know, if like Sam said, they spilled their beer. I think because no one said anything positive about it really online, and then
actually everyone was kind of excited this morning. I saw like at first a few videos come out, everyone was excited. Then you start seeing these other videos trickle in about saying, well, wait a minute, this is Abu Dhabi.
Because we have that initial. We have that initial. Oh, like yay! There's gonna.
I
be
even
a new
had
Disney
it. I had
park.
it this morning. I had it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool as hell, and you know.
And then the more we think about it, I think that if they wanted to, you know, clap back to Epic Universe, they would have given us something that we actually asked for.
Yeah. Like another Disney.
You're excited for Christmas morning, right? But when you peel back and you see the Hanes tube sock label on that present as you're opening it, you get less excited. Yeah.
It's like when the Phantom Menace was released. Everybody loved it right away. Then on the third and fourth watch, that's when they started hating on it. I love it still, but I think it was more that we're more than a FU to Epic Universe, but because that's not possible. Epic Universe is epic. There's nothing but great stuff mentioned about it. But this is, I think, more of like, hey, we're getting ready to celebrate the 70th of Disneyland. This is where we're going next. Kind of, this is where we started. This is where we're going. More of that, then we'll hear more from a Destination D23.
Amanda says,
see, I'm hoping, like, I know anyone else who's, you know, for me personally, if I'm going to Destination D23 or D23 Expo, I really hope that a lot of the presentation is not taken up from this park, because that's not what I'm interested in right now. I want to find out what's coming for Villains Land. I want more details and more pictures of the Encanto ride. This, like, we want stuff domestically. If they're trying to change the, you know, get the opinions off of Epic Universe and over there, we need stuff announced for Disney World. We need we need
ride, you know,
locations of like where the Coco ride's gonna go, where's the Avatar land gonna go, like that's.
Or Lewis's question.
What
comes first, Avatar Land or Abu Dhabi Disneyland?
I don't know.
Amanda says this is what Bob was saying with the 10-year plan as a response to Epic. Brendy says the UAE is linked to wealth and cost is not a factor for those kind of people. Good friends to have. Yeah, well, Kelsey says, I read estimated expense for UAE Disney is around $5 billion. And Kevin.
That sounds cheap. That sounds, $5 billion sounds cheap.
I think when I looked at it, Kelsey and I looked it up earlier, that our dollar is like 3 of theirs.
Gotcha. Okay.
Kevin said, I don't think anyone is saying, I was going to go to Epic Universe, but now I'm waiting for Disney UAE.
That's fair.
Kim says it better not be about this new park at D23. They'll get an earful and it won't be good. I think hopefully they read the room on this one.
Danny.
Lou says, let's go, Danny for Disney CEO.
There you go.
Kevin said, fingers crossed for Avatar Land in Abu Dhabi, first to work out the kinks.
After the 5th Avatar comes out.
Right. Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I don't know if we still think it's exciting after our conversation, but I mean, it's cool, smart business on Disney's part to take someone else's money and just like, thank you. You know, we're going to give you all of our ideas, but you pay for it all. You know, just like someone said in the beginning, like Walt did for freaking World's Fair. You know, oh, Ford, you want this cool little car thing? Yeah, well, you have to pay for it, but then we're going to bring it back to Disneyland and use it. Oh, Bank of America, you want a boat ride? Cool, we're going to move that boat ride back over to Disneyland and call it It's a Small World. So they're using some of his same ideas, which is nice after 70 years with theme parks and the Disney company for sure. Next question is when will Where in the Park get to go to Abu Dhabi to work on their first Abu Dhabi Disneyland game pack? So
where in Abu Dhabi is where
that's where in Abu Dhabi.
Where in the desert.
We'll be right back after you hear from Where in the Park, and we're going to talk some Thunderbolts, David. I see you up there. I see you. You're ready. Let's talk some Thunderbolts. Are we doing spoilers or not?
Well, Marvel did with the title, so might as well.
All right, fair enough. We'll be right back.
Hey fam, what scavenger hunt are you doing?
Well, we are doing Where in the Park.
Do you guys know Where in the Park? Because we do.
We do. So how you play this is that they give you a deck of cards with an image on it, and you get to look around and see where in the park that is.
And they're fun. So if you like to find stuff, this is what you need to do.
Amazing game. We're in the park right here.
If you're a seasoned Disney park goers, as we are, it's a fun, challenging even for the hardcore Disney parks fan.
We have played the Where in the Park games that we felt like, ooh, we got
still
this
a challenge.
Oh no, yeah, still a challenge, a fun challenge though, not an impossible challenge.
Yeah, they get really close to details, and you're like, I have never even seen that. I don't even know.
Where in the park have I seen that?
The great thing about these is that they're not in attractions and they're out in the open places. It's meant for families to play.
Besides people who've been there a lot, it's fun for people that are new to the parks as well, because you catch some of those details that you would probably miss when you're first going.
So there's images that you are finding on one side of the card, and then the other has the hint and the answer that you can reveal if you choose to.
Before it was just the hint and the answer, but now if you really want the land,
it'll tell you
they'll
where.
give you the land for an extra hint. You guys can take as long as you wish without the hint.
Yeah.
Without the hint, it's hard.
But that's what makes it fun.
But they do not just do Disney parks, obviously. What other parks do you guys actually cover?
Universal and all that good stuff.
East Coast, West Coast, and they're continuing to expand even more after that.
Check them out, whereinthepark.com, if you need to get some game packs. They are so much fun.
We appreciate Where in the Park.
They're awesome.
We love
Kevin and
that.
Amanda.
Get you some Where in the Park today.
Hell yeah.
Use promo code Walt's APT Podcast to save 10% at whereinthepark.com.
Where in the Park will be featured at Rogue Comic Con next week up in Medford, Oregon as well with us. They're awesome. We're glad to have them.
Amanda says so many more parks to make games for before we have UAE. And Kevin said when we can get Morale to pay for everything, we'll be there.
Hey, there you go. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about, I asked Danny last week to be on, and he said, I don't really go to a lot of Marvel movies and blah, blah, blah. And then he comes back on and says, I went to this. I loved it. So I want to go around really quick first and just ask all of you 1 to 10 what you rate the movie. Then we're going to dive into a little bit. So Danny, scale of 1 to 10, where would you rank this Thunderbolts movie?
9.
9? 9.
9.
Okay. And like all the movies you've seen, just like in Marvel movies.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Marvel person. I used to really like it back in the day, when we had all the original movies. But when we got all the Disney Plus fracturing, it really it lost me. Like I got lost in the Loki and the
100%.
The
I agree with you
Agatha
there.
of it all. The only thing I really liked on Disney Plus was WandaVision, and but yeah, other than that, like I hadn't really seen much recently. And this felt like the old Avengers movies.
Mhm.
And it had like good heart, it had comedy, like all the things you go to like this kind of movie for, right? You're not going to this movie for like these movies for like the best storyline. Like you're not going to these movies
Sure.
for like the same reasons you'd go for Sinners, right? You're going for like a good time. And that's what it did. It gave you a good time.
That's fair. Joey, how about you?
I'm going to agree with Danny. I give it a 9 as well. I put it up there, and same thing with the cast, or with my favorite Marvel movies, not the best ones, but still my favorite are the Guardians movies. And I put this up with the first Guardians movie, just that, those misfit people that just come together for the greater good. And, big instant fans of Red Guardian. I love David Harbour.
Oh God, yeah.
Elena and Even like
God,
Val was the best Val we've seen so far. So of course, Bucky and the others too. Ghost was redeemed. John Walker was redeemed. Taskmaster was sent where they were supposed to go. So,
damn.
But like Danny said, it was a fun movie.
Yeah.
It tugged on the feels, and it really set up the what Marvel used to do is set up the big that's going to happen in the future.
Yeah,
so.
For sure. I'll go next. I'll give it a Lewis. You haven't even seen it yet. You can't give it a 5.2 out of 10. You haven't even seen it yet. I'm not gonna lie. I first saw it. Give it like an 8.5. I'm like, this is pretty good. And then I thought about it all day long, and I thought about some of the scenes, and it actually moved up to a 9 to me as well. I thought this was a deep movie for sure. I thought it was very, very deep, and like some of the, I had a friend point out to me the fact that, when the Rock, when they're all to pick up the Rock together, they had to work together to do that. And then the emotions of having to pull Bob off of himself, they all did that together. And then the scene with Yelena and Red Guardian, when she called him daddy, that was it. I'm like, damn, that was strong. And it's good storytelling. Like I said, like David said earlier before we started, it was a great, they've done really well at building that story again. So I went up to a 9.
Spoiler alert or no spoiler alert? Because Kevin says no spoilers.
Some spoilers.
A few spoilers. Sam, Lewis, flipping spoilers day. I don't know if really anything. Yeah, okay, yeah. I don't know.
Robert Sprite didn't like it.
Bob Sprite did not like it at all. He didn't like it. I gave it a 3. But
all right, well.
Sam, what do you think? Sorry, do we not want to do spoilers? I'm sorry.
No, we're doing spoilers. If they haven't seen it, it's their fault.
It's on you guys. Yeah,
You had a week.
Let's
You
do
had a week.
spoilers.
You had a weekend.
Yeah.
A weekend. Oh, you had almost a week. Tomorrow will be 1 week since it came out. So
yeah.
For the
Sam,
first people.
9 out of 10. I'm sorry, 1 out of 10. What do you rank it? Sorry.
10. I gave it a 10.
A 10?
I gave it a 10.
A 10.
For me, it was like the perfect balance of seeing everything that we saw in the Disney Plus shows come back together. But it wasn't too Disney Plus show heavy for you to be able to figure out what was going on. It gave you enough backstory.
Yeah.
Brought in enough comic lore without being too much so we could still geek out. I love that we didn't get too much of the storyline in the teasers.
Yeah.
We knew what was coming, but we didn't know what was coming. Like we didn't know what the problem was going to be per se. It set us up for the new Avengers perfectly. It had this beautiful balance of humor and just like human deep reality that I think we could all relate to.
100%.
And if you couldn't relate to that, good for you. But I know I can.
Absolutely.
I can. So I loved it.
A 10 for you.
My 9-year-old gave it a 9.
Nice. Before we get into David's thoughts, if anyone has seen Top Gun Maverick, this was also pointed out to me by a friend. Bob is Bob.
Yeah.
Bob in that is Bob in this. I'm like, no fucking way. And then I looked, I'm like, holy shit, Bob is Bob. So Bob is always going to be Bob. So Bob's character was interesting. I'll definitely say that. David, Blurred Hulk, Marvel God of the show. What do you think?
I'm giving this a 9.5. Only because I have a very serious one tiny little beef with it. But overall, it was a great Marvel movie. I mean, it really was taken back to how Marvel, like, and I hate to say, like, there's like we got two different sides of Marvel, like with when we have rushed Marvel, and then we take our time with the story and the character development and the action. We got that, and that was really a breath of fresh air to see. If I had to, and I like comparing movies to other things that I really enjoy, and this was kind of like we got the this group is like the Breakfast Club the John Hughes of the 80s in Marvel superhero packaging and stuff, and I loved it. I was here for it. They talked about depression. This is like these characters were on their redemption arc, and some of them already kind of started out on that path. So we got to kind of see some of the completion into the actual name of that film. So I do like they were completing storylines and stuff on this, redemption from you're really bad, or can you redeem? How do you do that? How do you walk that path? So I enjoyed it. The character Yelena, I have to say, she did her thing. I like her better than Big Sis. And I
I
hate to
do
say that because I'm
too.
a
I
huge
do too.
Scarlett Johansson fan, but she brought it. Her act, I mean, she's no hate on the original Black Widow, but Little Sister stepped up and she delivered and stuff, and she really led. And this is one of the few women-led Marvel movies out there and stuff, and she killed it. And
I
so
agree.
yeah, I can go on for more. So I don't know how spoiler we want to get, but. Yeah, 9.5, and I can talk
9.5,
about
okay.
my gripe a little bit later. And
Hit
we
us
talk
with your
about
gripe.
this.
Tell us your gripe. Go ahead.
All right, so here's my big gripe. Okay, the character Taskmaster was not needed. I mean, it really kind of the only purpose for, and I get that Taskmaster wasn't actually, from what I understood, wasn't supposed to be in there. Baron Zemo was kind of supposed to, which also how this movie was makes sense that Zemo wouldn't be in this because he couldn't keep up with what was going on. So with that said, the only reason I think Taskmaster was in this was for that scene in the vault. It was that initial meet up, and they're like, "How do we make this?" It's like who's on first, who's on, kind of thing work, and they could have done that with the Red Guardian. They really could have. They could have, Red Guardian secretly trying to get back into the game, and he got a mission, and he was given the target of Ghost, or given the target of somebody that just like Taskmaster was, and then came. He could have done the Vault thing with them and everything else. They could. I thought it would have been a better arc for Red Guardian and stuff versus Taskmaster. I mean, I just really didn't. There was no need for Taskmaster to be in this at all. So
If they were cleaning up loose ends, he still would have been a loose end because he knew Yelena was working for Val.
Yep.
So it would have made sense
it's a
for him too
perfect thing for him to be in that vault
in the
during
vault.
that scene, hunting down somebody else and stuff. So
Yeah.
I like that they got rid of Taskmaster though, just to show that little, as it was, only because it was shown that it was that Suicide Squad-ness of it. So there had to be a little bit somebody's got to die, and who's the weakest?
He was the blue shirt.
But
Yeah,
really, nobody had to die. They could have done it without killing anybody off because now they just killed off a character that they could have used in different ways. But I mean, I guess they have Deadpool to go fix that anyway. So
sure, absolutely.
Literally what they did to Taskmaster. I mean, if you saw the Wolverine when they that version of Deadpool where he went back to clean up, and I mean that's literally what took place. Like, all right, let's get rid of this mistake or whatever. Taskmaster, it wasn't just for me. It wasn't necessary. If they're going to keep Taskmaster, I love Taskmaster's skills. I'm a fan of the character and what the way they put Taskmaster in the comics, in the backstory. I mean, in the movie, in the backstory, I would have kept her in as a part of the group, but to kill her off the way they did, it just wasn't necessary. So that's my only gripe. That's why I gave it a 9.5. Was that specific character in this movie?
That was a good fight scene, though. That scene was awesome.
A fight scene.
Yeah.
So do we all agree that Yelena's character carried this movie, or does someone else have a different choice?
No, yeah, Florence Pugh, amazing, incredible job. Hope she got paid the most.
Yeah. Well, she was in it the most. She like I saw a breakdown of like time. She was in it longer than anyone else. But
she definitely deserves the billing for it, even with Bucky there and
absolutely
and Red Guardian, which he was the great comic relief.
When he showed up in the freaking limo, I'm like, okay, this is freaking great.
Oh, when he showed up in the desert, like, hey! But and I'm going to go to David's background right now. The way they revealed that, and even the, this weekend, the marketing behind that whole thing.
Yeah,
with the movie theaters, Sebastian Stan, the way they're just perfectly recovering.
They didn't waste time, we're talking spoilers, but they didn't waste any time getting out and changing everything. I didn't know what it meant until I saw the movie last night. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? I said, did they change the name of the movie for some reason? Then it made sense yesterday. So,
ooh, and they left me cut. Sorry if you don't want to hear spoilers.
Yeah, I think we've lost like 5 people, so
that's okay. The way that they have already got me fiending for this feud between Sam Wilson Cap's Avengers and the new Avengers, I already want it. I already want it.
Civil War 2.
Let's go.
Absolutely. I mean, Secret cool. Avengers versus the real Avengers versus Civil War 2. Act 2, let's go. So,
is that what Secret Wars will be?
Or
no.
Or Fantastic Four?
Neither.
Well, the ship was in the end of it. I thought that was odd.
Yeah, so it was a spoiler because we do know we have the Fantastic Four movie coming.
In credit, I'm so sorry. That's the other reason why I ranked it as high as I did. The end credit makes sense, and it's actually timely, which was kind of a big miss lately for Marvel with their end credits and stuff. Like, you didn't know what this meant or what this tied to. This one perfectly teased up the Fantastic Four, and I'm here for it. I good job on that.
Well, they said the Russo brothers directed that after the chair reveal. They went straight to filming that post credit, plus the mid credit with the grocery store with Red Guardian. That was hilarious too.
You know what?
For
me, I've been loving the end credit scenes because they were all King the Conqueror, and now what the heck?
Yeah, I thought it was great. The movie was overall
Hopefully we get characters at DCA. I mean, more,
Yeah, we get FP. Can she be there, like herself?
Damn. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was saying that they should have had the missed opportunity for them to have the red limo in Avengers Campus. And then also to have Yelena with the Red Guardian, but it was cool to have him, and he was such a great character.
Was that your video, Danny? Did you ask him where the limo was, or was it Mondo that asked him?
I did it. Yeah, it's on my.
It's on your video.
Pull it up. You want to pull it up? We can play it. And
that's what I say. I remember you saying that, but
I'll work on that while you guys continue to talk. I'll bring up his video.
I posted it on YouTube Shorts too, if it's easier to find it there.
Okay.
So the other dynamic that I actually liked, because this was such a trauma-filled story arc and stuff, was the fact that you have Bucky, the king of trauma and traumatic events and stuff, who went through therapy, who was kind of almost like a little bit outside of that group. Like, he was like, I've dealt with my shit, but you kind of tell he hasn't. But he's just been given better tools to deal with this stuff. While everyone else is, John Walker. His self-deprecation and yet him still being I loved it. It was really kind of on the mark for Walker and stuff. Him kind of living in this delusion, like he has a wife and family at home and stuff, and he's just doing this because it's part of his service, but really he's just a shitty person. And then he just kind of owns that a little bit and stuff, and to the point where even Yelena is like, I mean, there's no point in calling you a dick because you already know you are one, so but I love their relationship and stuff. So I already been through therapy. I have some tools, Bucky, and giving them the big hero pep talk and stuff, but yet it was Yelena who stepped forth as the leader of this group, kind of made this, and it worked. It made all of this kind of blend, even though they wanted to go off and do their own thing or go back and root in their own depressions and go off to the corners of the world and stuff. she really just kind of just, I mean, she like she said, she fell alone. She has no one. Her dad never called and everything, which was sad. That her father and daughter scene that got me. I was like,
Oh
oh
yeah.
damn, like
Yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, I loved it. It was great. The Thunderbolts story. I mean, feel bad for the girl who pooped in the 50-yard line.
Oh no.
Soccer field. I mean, I'm sure she didn't want that story to come out. And then big up to Shane Tires for sponsoring the Thunderbolts and stuff. So
Do we want to talk about Century?
yes,
And how?
let's play this. Let's play.
Okay.
Yeah, and then let's talk about Century.
Let's watch this video real quick. This is Danny's interaction with the Red Guardian.
Oh, you got to go back.
Uh-oh.
Make a decision.
When I've been waiting, friends, I want to talk with all of you. Time for Thunderbolts recruitment.
So, how does it feel to be an Avenger captain?
Oh, it feels incredible. It feels great. It feels like home.
Yeah.
I get to see Natasha sometimes.
Nice.
I get to talk to the other heroes.
Yeah.
There's so many cool ones.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a Deadpool. I don't know if he's been around lately.
I haven't seen this guy. I don't
He's
know.
a lot of trouble.
Where's the red limo?
The red limo out back.
Okay.
I told them bring it out here for my fans.
Put it right here.
I know.
Right
They
here.
said they bring me cheap. At least they put A on it for Alexa.
Yeah. Or the new Avengers.
Oh, it was my idea to put the C.
You need to put the C.
It was the greatest idea I think I could ever come up with.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh, that was great. Bill, he said, "What in the hell are they doing with Bucky? He betrayed Sam and the Avengers decided with Elaine." I mean,
He's going to be the bridge. He's going to be the peacekeeper. I already know the setup. Like it's almost telegraphed. He's going to bring the new Avengers with Sam Wilson and his team, and he's going to be that bridge. So.
and I mean, I wouldn't say he sided with Val by any means.
Yeah.
No.
Real quick, I was gonna say I know I would have loved to see the limo in DCA, but how hilarious would it be if they actually had it parked in the rideshare pickup area along Harbor? That would be awesome.
That would be funny. So is Sentry Omega level?
He doesn't know the extent of his power, so technically, no, but he could be. Is the best. I mean, you have to kind of know that there's a sense of control you have to kind of have over yourself before you realize you can escalate to that Omega level, and he's right now he's scared to death to just be any level of himself.
So I know that's a complaint that people have had with, things in recent Marvel cinematic universes, or the recent MCU, is that Disney seems to be creating heroes, anti-heroes, and villains that seem like they can't lose.
Right.
Like
Wanda.
Emilia Clarke's character.
Say it.
I was not talking about Wanda.
I was.
But yes, essentially, Wanda had to take, the Scarlet Witch, not Wanda, but the Scarlet Witch had to take herself out, right?
Yeah.
And that's essentially what Sentry is doing right now. Bob is doing. He's being
Bob's just chilling with his coffee. I thought that was God.
He's being Bob instead of being
Right.
Sentry, because if he's Sentry, he can completely wipe out everything.
I don't know if you guys shared
The movie would be over in a flash. I mean, here's the thing: Marvel sacrificed some things in order to tell a good story because they had to. Like, I mean, people complain. I'm a huge Incredible Hulk fan. Everyone knows that.
No.
They had to nerf Hulk. Otherwise, most of the movies would have been over. Like if we had the true, if we ever got World War Hulk or any of that opulent level version of Hulk in any of the movies he was featured in, the movies would be over very quickly and stuff.
Yeah.
It'd just be a Hulk battling this guy, Hulk battling, destroying that guy and stuff. So you have to kind of subdue or create a storyline why this person isn't going to their full extent and stuff. So
I guess I'm just curious where Sentry goes from here.
Yeah, and I was wondering Emilia Clarke's character from the show. Like,
Where we happy if they say this is not canon.
One thing I did like, though, I mean, this is kind of like, I don't know, but even the credits, the way they did the propaganda that was popping up during the credits, I thought was great. I mean, even the John Walker riding the shield taco like a horse. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. Did you guys see Bill's comment here? I don't know. Did you guys read this? Fun fact, Barry and I are coming back to podcasting. We're calling ourselves the new Walt's Apartment. With a Z.
with the Z.
With the Z.
With the Z.
We could talk about this for another hour, but I mean, we have another topic, but definitely go see this movie. I think we all agree it was a great movie.
And a lot of us were in the predictions ballpark, I'll say.
Oh yeah, the predictions. I'm sorry. I think Danny, you said 175 million, right? When I asked you last week,
I had said 174.
Who was the closest? I think I put it in the chat up here earlier.
I think Kevin or David were like right.
Kevin was at
I was short.
Kevin was
I think
at
it might have been Kevin.
David was at 120. So
yeah,
Kevin
I was short.
Closest. Kevin was at one. It was what 162.2 is what. I was at 225. I was holding out all hope for it.
I was close domestically, but not worldwide.
Amanda said 200. Sam said 178. Joey was 134. Does Lilo and Stitch do better than this?
Yes.
Yes.
You think so? Yeah.
Globally, yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
People aren't necessarily running out to take their young children to see the Thunderbolts as much as they are.
That's fair.
I put on a YouTube video in my classroom, and Stitch comes across the screen, and my children lose their minds.
So Stitch will do 200 million, I think, at least 200 million more.
Easy.
220.
Yeah.
And I want a popcorn popping out Stitch like they've been showing at the theaters.
Yes. But Thunderbolts, go see it. New Avengers, whatever the hell it's called now. But we have one more topic, which is the Walt Disney audio animatronic, which is coming in about 2 months from tomorrow, actually. So let's hear from Sunken City Design. We'll come back, talk about that a little bit, and wrap this thing up. Sound good? All right.
Sunken City Designs brings you art. Do you like art? I know I do. How about art based on Disney characters, like Mickey Mouse and the Oyster Thief? You know, that's actually from Alice in Wonderland, the best princess movie ever made. Also, we have some dwarfs that have their heads ripped off sometimes. Why? I don't know. It's because it's Sunken City Design. So go there, sunkencitydesign.com. Get yourself some great merchandise. You got posters and, I believe, clothes. Who knows? I got a cup from there, and it's fantastic. You like cups? Do you ever use those? I do. Go for it. Oh yeah, sweatshirts. Can't forget about those. If you're ever cold, get yourself a sweatshirt from sunkencitydesign.com. Also, WALL-E. You know, that's the best movie ever made. Second only to Alice in Wonderland. All right, if you also like Walt's Apartment, they have merch for that too. Where? sunkencitydesign.com. Hopefully you've already loaded up that site and you're looking at it and you have some items in your cart. Go ahead and check out as soon as you can because the show's about to come back on. All right, everybody, we appreciate you.
I can't come back from that without laughing every time. He's just like, so you like art? I do. But Sunken City Design, we love them. I love my Sleepless Night. Moon Knight sweatshirt, Amanda says. So next week, the 16th of May is the start of the Disneyland 70th anniversary, which is kind of mind-blowing if you think about Disneyland being 70 years old for one. I'm talking about this week because I won't be here next week. So I want to talk about it tonight. And we had Danny on. I want to get his thoughts on this as well. The Walt Disney animatronic, we've talked about it a few times. There are people that are so very for this and so very against this. I'm here for it. I'm excited to see it. And just like everyone has said the past couple of months, I think I was watching OG55 and George. They were doing a video about this today, and like OG said, just don't fuck it up. Just don't. They can't mess this one up. You can mess up Hondo not looking the best or Tiana not working half the time, but you can't have Walt Disney not working. So I think that's part of get your tissues ready. Absolutely. I found an article that was actually put in our Discords about a gentleman who got to go to Imagineering and see not the actual animatronic, but he got to see like the statue, the life size version of Walt Disney, and said that it's so damn real. Like his hair is, they use his hair products that he used at the time, and the hair on his arms, and they had to make this perfect because Walt Disney Imagineering said that everyone has telescopic cameras in their pockets now, so they can't, and they know they can't mess this one up. There's so much writing. I guess I don't know if there's anything writing on this, but this is the face of the company forever, and I just want to get your guys' thoughts. It's 2 months away. It's what, July 17th. Danny was saying, I think you were were you telling us before we started, or was it or after we started the show, that they actually it was supposed to start?
Well, there was like a rumor. There was a rumor that it was ready to go, but they are being so picky about it that they scrapped it and went back to the drawing board. So that's why it got delayed to the 17th. So
because he was too short, right?
Yeah, something about him not having the presence they wanted, and adjusting some things, stuff like that.
So also with this, they announced and they confirmed what we all knew, like when Fresh Baked did a video last year about this, about the turntable in the Lincoln Theater. It will be 2 shows in there. You're going to have great moments with Little Lincoln, which will not change at all. They said will be the exact same show. And then this new Walt's A Magical Life will be 17 minutes long. And it will be all of Walt Disney's voice, no AI, no voice actors. It will all be garnered from his actual voice. And only thing that they're doing to it is scrubbing it to make it to get rid of some of the 60s version, the 60s sounds, but they're going to scrub the recordings to make them a little more cleaner. This is also, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. I was going to double check that. So if anybody's seen the second Beatles like documentary that Peter Jackson did, it's on Disney Plus. They really hit that program to redo like John Lennon, like an old demo that they did that back when the Free Like a Bird song came out in the 90s. They actually were able to record brand new with, so they're using that same technology that they used in that documentary to release. And so the Beatles like had a brand new song last year for the first time, and like with the actual Beatles. So that's what they're doing. And it sounds amazing.
Kevin says if it isn't amazing, hopefully they use that Merrill money to improve it. So, okay, so that's fair. If they knock out of the park, talk about rewritability, people are going to get out of that attraction and get right back in line for sure. One more thing that article said, they're basing this on 1963 version of Walt Disney. That's is where that's the time frame, because that was when he was already successful in the park, and I guess he'll be leaning on the desk talking to us. What does that do for all of us here that are huge Walt Disney fans?
Well, I think a huge thing about it that Sam will probably appreciate as well too. One of my favorite things at Walt Disney World was One Man's Dream, and it was so Disneyland focused.
Yeah.
It was crazy that it was at Disney World, but I loved and appreciated it either way. And that alone by itself is very emotional, and people frequently cried while watching One Man's Dream. So, and they're using One Man's Dream as the film before Walt Disney's animatronic was revealed. So it lives on, in Disneyland, which is great. They're going to update it in some way, but I think it largely remains the same, which makes sense because it's very Disneyland focused. So that alone is going to make people cry. And then you have the it'll probably be very similar to Lincoln, where like the screen's kind of more closer to you, and then they pick up the screen, and then Walt's office is behind it, and then he'll sit at his desk, like you said, and then he'll have that moment like Lincoln where he stands up, right?
That's wild.
And they said it will be like his 2 to 3 minute speech. I think it was 2 minutes something seconds, and then it'll end. So the majority of the presentation is Walt One Man's Dream.
Sure.
But yes, from what we've heard, there's probably going to be a virtual queue utilized for the attraction.
I think there would have to be.
Yeah, because there's no real way to wait for it. And not only that, but I think I'm more excited too about the fact that they're going to have an exhibit before it, kind of like Walt One Man's Dream and Hollywood Studios had, or still has. And so I think that's going to be fun too. People want to look at that. So I don't know how they're going to handle like will you be able to just walk in and look at that, or you're going to have to do virtual queue for both and like you'll just do it as a combo. Not quite sure, but I think just seeing I had a chance to visit Walt's office when I was a cast member, and that was probably one of the best things ever. They meticulously they had Dave Smith, who was the archivist who passed away not that long ago. He went in. He was one of the people that was tasked to go into Walt's office after he died to literally catalog everything that was in there and the position that it was laying on the desk and everything. Everything was documented as is. And then when they recreated his office for tours and stuff, they put everything back exactly how it was, like to every like the curtains and everything. So that was cool. So to see that recreated again and for more people to be able to see it, I think will be a really special thing for a lot of people because not everyone's going to be able to go to his suite, on the lot. So
sure. This is being at Walt's office gives you all the feels. You can absolutely feel his presence. Dave did such an amazing job documenting everything. I feel the same way about the apartment. When I got to go to the apartment a couple of years ago, it was just when she said Walt Disney slept right here, you're like, holy crap. You know what I mean? And the way it's the same thing, everything is just sitting there. And I don't think it was as meticulous as The Office, but it's like, damn. And then looking out that window, and just looking out onto the town square, like, oh yeah, there's not a feel. I can't even express that feeling of how that was, but you just feel his presence in a certain place. And I think that's how this is going to be. People are going to, I'll walk out of there crying. And let's be real. I mean, I cried watching World of Color 2 weeks ago. I've never seen it. I finally saw it in all these years. I'm like, my God, this is absolutely amazing.
I
when I hear that, it's even a
everything.
good one. You cry
Literally,
watching everything.
I do literally, my daughter's in my face during Thunderbolts, and she's like, "Are you crying?"
Yeah.
You're crying. She does
Yeah.
it during every single movie. It's so embarrassing because I can't
When
help it. I
Yelena
just
said
cry.
daddy.
Don't watch Andor. Don't watch Andor.
I
Oh,
cry. I cry watching happy movie. I just cry when I'm happy,
Yeah.
sad, angry. I just cry.
For
I
sure.
cry. But I think I'm going to be a little bit creeped out because it's going to be an animatronic making me cry.
Yeah.
I'll be like, wait.
But
That's
I don't know. It's gonna be wild. David, any thoughts on that?
For me, I'm a part of the show because I'm a big Marvel guy. But I'm getting there. I love the culture that Walt built. So to have that kind of come back a little bit as for the fans and stuff, I'm all for it. The only thing I would add and suggest, and maybe it might be a little too we're not ready for it yet, is add AI so you can actually ask questions and have them
Oh my
actually
God.
talk back to you in real time.
That'd be wild.
I mean,
But if it was Stan Lee, though, David, you'd be all for it, right? Stan Lee animatronic.
But it's the same. I mean,
Yeah.
So I'm for it. I think it's going to be. I think there's those who say no, this is disrespectful, blah blah blah. Earlier in this process, if they go through it and if they knock it out of the park, they're gonna turn around and be supportive of it and stuff. And I'm for it. I mean, I know Walt was not a big put me in front of everything kind of guy. But this was his creation.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln, all of this stuff is so it's kind of the fit, in my opinion, from an outsider perspective, a fitting tribute and stuff. Regardless of the fact that he was being humble, which I think when he said those things about I don't want to be the forefront or the face of things. So
Fair. Yeah, and then like Danny's question, where's everyone going to go? Bricky did a video. Hey, Bricky did a video. The auditorium seats 500 people, so it'll definitely be full for a long while, I believe. But are they going to queue up and down Main Street? Are they going to queue down those parade those parade hallways behind Main Street? Are they going to queue back behind over to the side over there where the parade comes out? I mean, where are you going to put a couple thousand people waiting to see Walt Disney? Because it's going to be interesting to see how they fix that too. So I'm excited for it. I'm here for it. I can't wait for it. Anyone
Yeah,
else anything they want to add on to this?
I was gonna say it's about time during the 70th that we actually do get a Walt story, because like Danny was saying, and Sam, the One Man's Dream is an amazing show, and you get all the feels, and it is so Disneyland heavy. And I remember when they were doing DCA, I know before Carthay was a restaurant, they're talking about, well, maybe we'll make it like a Walt exhibit, and that didn't happen. But and like Amanda and Danny said too, going in his office, it's feels. You walk there, you see his desk, you look over, you see the piano, that the Sherman Brothers played on. They're playing "Feed the Birds" in the background, so I think it's going to be really cool, and definitely a lot better than if they put an animatronic of him in Walt's apartment opening the curtain like the Evil Queen.
Oh, like Snow White.
Creepy. So, but I'm excited, and more for the exhibit than the archives too, that are going to be in there.
So Kevin says, I don't expect the Walt animatronic is going to have a big of a line as an actual e-ticket attraction. I disagree with you, Kevin. Honestly, I think in the beginning, for a while, I think it will. Everyone's gonna. Danny, what is it you want to see most on July 17th?
Well, because normally Disneyland doesn't do anything for its birthday. Right. That's been the theme recently. So this will be interesting. Not only that, but we're going to have quite a few things debut that day. So the whole roundtable thing, that's not happening. So they're just going to be, for the remainder of the entire 70th celebration, it'll just be the Walt Disney Show. It'll never
for the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's never going to rotate. It's going to be the Walt Disney Show back to back to back. So they said the Lincoln Show will return in the future once they've decided to end the exclusive run of the Walt Disney version, and then it will rotate back and forward. We're also going to be having the new version of the It's a Small World song debut on It's a Small World with the last verse or the final verse.
Is that in July or is that next week when the park?
That's in July. Yeah, it's in July.
Okay.
And so the new additions to Small World will debut on Friday this week, and then the new song will debut for July 17th. In addition to that, the Main Street Cinema, where they normally play the cartoons, will actually be playing that documentary with the Sherman Brothers about the final verse.
That's right.
On loop all day long. So like that'll be playing in the Main Street Cinema, so you can go experience the attraction, then learn about it in the cinema. Then you can go do the Walt Disney thing if you can get a virtual queue, is my guess. And then there's going to be, of course, probably like a birthday moment because that's a special day. So they'll probably have some kind of hat giveaway. For the last two iconic birthdays, they've given away the ears. So I'm hoping they do the same. So it'll be a fun day. It's going to be a long day for sure, on that day. But I'm excited for it. I think it'll definitely draw a big crowd of people that want to see it for their own eyes for the first time. But it'll eventually, like Kevin's saying, it'll probably eventually die off to the point where they don't need like a virtual queue and you can just walk in and see it like you do the Lincoln Show. So.
Okay, Kevin, you make a good point there.
Kevin, at that point, you are the reason your children are there, and they just have to do what mom and dad want to do that day.
For you listening, Kevin says, I doubt many families are going to have their kids pulling them into the opera house for a documentary and a short speech from a Walt robot. You just knock it down so much when the competition is the rest of Disneyland. But you make a good point, though.
I don't know. My dad dragged us in to see Abe Lincoln just because he's like, we're watching this.
Yeah, sit down.
On the other right center.
So. I like that his profile pic is him in the Star Trek walkthrough at FanFest night.
Nice.
All right. So I think that brings us to the end of the show. Is there any Larcana you want to talk about before we go off, or do you guys want to talk about that after?
I was just messing around, but they did have a big reveal the other day. So
they did.
Every time Danny's come on, they've had like a reveal or release. So.
Yeah, they've had something happen every time I come on. It just happens to be.
It's a good time.
They just
the power line set.
Yeah, they announced Goofy movie. It's funny because like as soon as they've started the franchise or the game, it's always been like people bugging them for like to include their favorite franchise into the game, and Pixar's always asked like so many times they want Pixar stuff being added. They already confirmed that that's happening next year. But people were always asking for 3 things specifically. It was Pixar, Goofy movie, and Darkwing Duck. Those were like the 3 things they kept getting asked for all the time, and they've said that all of them will be coming. So
and gargoyles.
And gargoyles too, and Black Cauldron for Sean. Sean likes Black Cauldron.
God, that movie's so bad.
Sean actually loves Wally.
Oh yeah, it's the best. The Black Cauldron. I got to see that when I was like in 5th grade. That was our treat to go to a freaking movie for doing something in school. I'm like, the movie's terrible, but whatever. David, are you Larcana? Do you do? I don't know if you play card games. Do you?
But I just found out I was a card game right now from. But no, I don't pay attention.
There will be a
So I
Larcana artist
apologize.
in Medford.
David should be playing Marvel Snap, if anything.
I'm down. Trust me, I'm not shy of playing some card games and stuff. I just don't.
Yeah.
I'm in the dress up. That's me. I'm all about the cosplay.
That's right. Yeah. So the power, there's more stuff coming from Lorcana when that we'll have Danny back. So Danny, you'll come back before the 70th starts. Not before the 70th starts, but before July 17th again, right?
Oh yeah.
Beautiful. All right. I think that brings us to the end of the show. Danny, tell us where we can find you everywhere.
Yeah, I'm most active on Instagram, YouTube, and X. You can find me on and Threads too. Actually, I'm trying to be more on Threads than anything because I feel like I get more like responses there. But you can find me on all those things at Just Ask Danny, and then on the YouTube channel is called the 5571. So you can search for that, and you'll find the channel, which has the podcast and the videos all together.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you so much, buddy, and I was so glad to have you as a friend of the show. For myself, for Sam, we won't be on next week. David, will you be on next week? I don't know. Are you guys doing final prep next week for?
For Comic-Con is here upon us and stuff, and so I got my plate full. In fact, I took work off and stuff so I can work on this other stuff. So
look for Joey and hopefully Courtney and Kelly possibly. I know you had teased in a live extra magic hour next week. I don't know if that's what the plan is, but
I think it will be the plan.
Cool.
We are going because we will not be in Medford, but we will be down at Disneyland on Friday the 16th and 17th. So we figure might as well tap into some of the 70th anticipations.
And you'll be at Fan Fest like the Monday before or the Sunday before as well, right?
This Sunday.
Okay. Which is before that. So perfect. So you guys will talk about that. All right.
Before you close out, I do got important questions for you guys who are coming down, and I see that Amanda and Kevin are in the chat. And
coming up.
Should I barbecue or should I cater?
Shit.
All I want is a plate back. Some of that.
I mean, last year was perfect. What you guys did last year was perfect. That was
the macaroni. Hell yeah.
The event was fun, but I think that was the highlight of the weekend for me.
Oh yeah,
hanging out in David's back,
trying to hug him.
That's right. Hanging out in David's backyard. All right. But yeah, so look for myself and Sam and David and Kevin and Amanda and even Amber. I'm not
Tyler.
sure about, and Tyler and Jade hopefully will be on helping us out. But we will be live a lot next weekend from Medford, Oregon for Rogue Comic-Con. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Danny, I can't thank you again enough for taking your time to be with us. I appreciate you. Follow Danny on the 5571. He's also on Speculation Sunday on normally Sundays with Mondo from Five Fires YouTube as well. But I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And for all of us here at Walt's apartment, I said it wrong. We hope you enjoy the view from Walt's apartment. You guys have a good night. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Peace.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here age relives fond memories of the past, and here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America, with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.